Hi everybody and welcome to my Unruly Housewife channel. Today I am going to show you how to make embellishments for your cards, greetings cards that are blingy and fun and shiny and really simple to make. And if you are a card maker who doesn't really usually use clay, or you're a beginner, this is the video for you, because I'm going to keep it very simple and basic and show you the most straightforward way I can to make these pretty little things that will bling up your cards. I will start off with the clay. That's the basic thing we need, and I'm using black Fimo Professional to make my shapes, but you can use any black clay. It doesn't have to be this one. All I say is bake according to the manufacturer's instructions. Now you're going to need something to do your baking on, and I always bake on a ceramic tile, but you can use some cardstock on a baking tray if that's simpler for you. Don't leave your clay sitting on it for too long because it'll leach out the oils in the clay, but that's a perfectly good thing. And believe me, your cardboard I'm going to get the word in a minute, your cardboard is not going to burst into flames. We're not cooking it at that kind of temperature. The other thing you're going to need is a rolling pin, and in order to guide your rolling pin, I'll just bring down this wonderful contraption. You can simply tape 3 thicknesses of cereal packet or whatever, I think this is cat food, but 3 thicknesses of cereal packet onto your surface that you're going to use, and that will guide your rolling pin so that when you've got your clay on there, it's going to be the right thickness all the way along and it'll be even. So I've got some there, and as you can see, if you've got a pasta machine you can pop it through at number 2 if you've got a dedicated claying pasta machine, but this is just a simple way to do it, and we're only making small things after all. Now, in order to cut out your shapes, you're going to need a knife. A craft knife is handy, or this kind of blade. I mean, I say you're going to need them, you may not, because we're going to use cutters, but it's good to have them on hand if you can. And as I mentioned, we're going to use cutters like these, just ordinary little cutters. Don't use them for food after you've used them for clay. Kind of a no return situation there. Depends which ones you've got you can use. You want them to be quite small, sometimes even tiny, look. So there are our cutters. And to make the patterns on our things, we're going to need stamps. Now you can get fantastic stamps for cards. Whoops, I've got these which are really good, that have kind of messages on, wishes and things like that, and they can just go on a little thing like that. If you're a card maker, you're already going to know this. Or there are wooden stamps such as that, and in order to personalise things you get these numbers and letters that you clip together, and they're from Amazon, I think. They're not at all expensive. You might have to wait a little bit though, because they're usually sent from China. You've cut your things out, you've stamped them, you've made patterns and such. Now how are you going to make them super blingy? Well, you can use mica powders like these, and if you don't want to have the expense of doing that, you can actually use shiny eyeshadows. So you may have some yourself or borrow them from a glamorous friend. And I have these here. Put my hand over there so I don't see my face. And some of these, as you can see, are very shiny, and they're the ones to use. That's super. That's got gold in it and stuff. So you don't have to have expensive mica powders. You can just use eyeshadow. If you're going to use crystals like these Swarovski crystals or some slightly cheaper version, you can use those, but do make sure that they're glass before you go baking them in the oven. And you can use hot fix ones, but because these are going to be set rather shallow, I would use Superglue. This could be used before you put it in the oven, but the best thing you can do really is finish the piece that you're baking, then pop them out, stick a little bit of super glue in and pop them back in. That's the most straightforward way to do it. Once you've finished, you'll want to glaze your piece, and something like straightforward Fimo glaze will do. That will seal the mica powders into position, and you want to glue it to your card. I use Crafter's Pick, the ultimate. But in America or somewhere like that, you could use E6000. It's pretty straightforward. Let's crack on, and if there's anything I've forgotten, it'll come up in the process. In fact, look, it already has, because when you're baking your things, I recommend that you preheat the oven and use an oven thermometer to keep an eye that they're baking at the right temperature. No one's oven is that great. Oven thermometers are really handy and cheap. If you don't have an oven thermometer, well, you know, if you're going to keep doing this, you better invest in one. That's my advice. The first thing we're going to do is roll out our clay. Well, we've done that. The second thing I need to do is to make the pattern. Now, I recommend making the pattern before you cut the shape out, because if you do the shape and then the pattern, pressing into the clay will sort of distort the shape, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to push that in straight away, nice and even and firm. You can give it a spritz of water if you think it needs it, but we've got away with that. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, I think you can. So there's our little shape, and now I'm going to cut out, there's our print rather, and now I'm going to cut out the shape, and I'm going to try and make sure that this little dot here is in the middle. So, I should never have said that really, because I've raised your expectations. So there, we cut out the shape, and these would be great, wouldn't they, for Christmas cards? Just give that a little press, and there is our decorated star. That's always makes such a pretty thing on there. Having done that, we're now going to put on our powder, but before we put our powder on, actually I'm going to put the Swarovski crystal in the middle, and the reason I'm going to do that is I don't want the powder under it. I want to glue my crystal to the clay. I don't want to glue it to the powder. That's not such a good bond. And I use one of these. It's a pencil, it's a pick-up pencil. I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. Now, I don't know if all clays would agree with me about this, but I think it's the best thing to do is to put it in. Actually, I forgot to mention, I knew this would happen. You need brushes are handy if you're putting mica powder on. I just push that into the middle there, so that sits there. And that's already in place. Awesome. I'm not sure orange is a very Christmassy colour unless it's oranges, but still. And now we can apply our mica powder. And I think this would look nice with copper, and I think it would look nice with purple. So get the copper out, get the purple out. Perfect pearls may not need to be sealed because they have something in them that seals them to the clay, and probably for a card that would be enough. Pearlex, they do need something to be sealed, but they actually go on nicer. They're much smoother, and they sort of go onto the clay better. They're very fine, and whatever it is they put into the perfect pearls to sort of make them stick, it's also a bit gritty and can scratch the clay. So plenty of that on. I love doing this. I think you can see that looks quite cute. And as I said, you may need a brush for the mica powders sometimes, but it's better to do it with your finger. I'm gonna do it with a different finger, because you see what we're trying to do is we don't want to get it down into the little grooves. We want to just smooth it onto the middle there, so onto the top, you know, catch the tops of the shapes. So there it is. That's really pretty. And if I just pick that up and show it to you, find a blade. It's so quickly made a pretty little star to put on a card. And really, anything else you want to make, it's, you know, it's rinse and repeat. We could do another one. There's birthday wishes there. Get the black clay again. Of course, I've left absolutely no room to do it. Don't cut it right out of the middle. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Well, we'll do this anyway. So birthday wishes, press down, fairly firmly. Let's see if this will come off. Sometimes this won't come off. Oh, it doesn't like it at all. Ah, there you go. It's probably better with these sort of cling stamps actually to put a little spritz of water on them if I've got my spritzer. Well, it's too late now anyway, but you just put a little spritz of water on. I've made that get rather sticky, but it's fine, it's hanging together. And then you want to cut that out. Now, what shapes have I got here? I'll tell you what, we'll cut this one out with a blade, because not everyone has got loads of different shapes, particularly if you're not usually a clayer. Hopefully once you've experienced this, you'll want to become a clayer, and then you'll build up a collection of cutters and blades and powders, and I'm here to corrupt you. Corrupt you into the world of claying, never to return. Okay, but we can cut this out with the blade. Maybe we'll do it at a little angle. This is probably going to look a bit odd. It's not as if I've practiced it. Right, there you go. Yeah, it's going to look odd. There you go. Right, okay. So we've made that little birthday wishes sign. Let me look at it up the right way. Yeah, that's okay. And we could put maybe a little thing there. I'm going to use a screwdriver. Look, make a little, some little shapes there. Talk about making things on the fly. I'm sure other people plan what they're going to do in their videos. And, you know, I did plan, but then I got sidetracked by my own stupidity. There you go. So that's quite cute. And we'll do that in gold, shall we? Fine. Give it a little brush. Birthday wishes. That's really quick. And you could play around with different colours, different things. Sorry, I do these things and I don't hold them still for like a second. Alright, so once we're done, we can put these into the oven. We'll just take these off because we don't want to cook them in the oven. And this can now go straight into the oven with your oven. And relax. This can now go straight into the oven with your oven thermometer on there. Wait till the oven's preheated, pop that in according to the manufacturer's instructions. Remember I said that before. And when it comes out, you will have something like this. And you can see these are really pretty. And then all we have to do, can anyone remember what we do before we stick it to the card? We pop this out and we put in a little bit of super glue and put it back. That's stone. Okay, well, I hope that inspired you. I want to make another one, actually, another video, which shows you how to make holographic effects with your faux holographic effects with polymer clay. And they are really easy to do. So that might be a follow-up video. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see that. If you enjoyed this video, do share it with your friends, like, subscribe, and good luck with making your cards. And I love you all. Bye-bye.